This is Tom Blair with Inside Colorado Wrestling, doing another episode of Boundary to Boundary, Colorado High School Wrestling. Our guest today is LaJunta coach, Brandon Coates. How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. You know, anytime we're at a wrestling tournament, that's a good day.
Well, that's good. Where are you at today?
Today we're at the Pooter Girls Invitational. We brought a few girls up. We're just starting to get that program started at LaJunta. So trying to get these girls into it and see if we can bring more on board. So.
Okay. Let the wrestling community know a little of your background and your wrestling coaching background.
Okay. I wrestled in high school at LaJunta. That's where I'm the coach now. This will be my 6th year as the head coach there. The 7 years previous, I was an assistant. Coming up through high school, we did a lot with our Pee Wee program, and that kind of fed us all right into coaching at the next level. If you take a look, there's a ton of LaJunta alumni that are wrestling coaches, and I just followed that path.
Well, it's nice that you're right back in the same community there where you grew up from. That way you get to know most of the people in the area.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Now we're starting to get a lot of kids whose parents I went to school with. We've had a couple that actually have come through. And it's an interesting experience seeing those parents now, you know, having them being in class with them growing up, and then all of a sudden their kids are in our wrestling room. So it's a really special experience, and that's, you know, something that we get a lot in the small towns, and I think that's what makes them really special.
Give us a little background on your wrestling team from last year and how they did at state tournament.
Last year we qualified 7 wrestlers for the state tournament. We had one placer, Isaiah Gamez, who won his 2nd state title. Then we had another couple of kids who were blood round guys. You know, and a lot of our qualifiers kind of surprised people. Our records are pretty salty by the time we get to the regional tournament. We stack our schedule.
Getting beat up on with the 3A, 4A, and 5A guys?
Yeah, for sure. The majority of our schedule is 4A, 5A. The 3A tournaments, there's only a couple of them, and most of those being league and regional. So.
Did you set up to go to Florence?
Yeah, we did go to Florence, and you know that's a brutal, tough tournament. There's not very many times where you have a kid make the finals and he's not wrestling a state champ or a state placer or something like that. And it's a good opportunity to see some teams that we just don't see until the state tournament.
Okay. So how's your squad look this year?
We're pretty tough. We returned all of our qualifiers from last year, and Gamez is there looking for his 3rd title, and we would expect to qualify the same amount. You can't really count on anything once we get to that regional tournament, but
it's any given time at any given match.
Exactly. You know, you have a kid come out who for some reason had a bad week, and that bleeds into the weekend, and all of a sudden he's on the outside looking in. So you really have to get their minds right leading up into that regional tournament, and then just hope for the best.
Okay. What's your coaching staff look like?
So my main varsity assistant is Quinn Donnell. He's also a LaJunta graduate. He was a state champ back in his day, wrestled a bit at Western, and then finished up his career at CSU Pueblo. And then I've got Justin Zamora, who's a recent graduate from Adams. He was an All-American there. He does a really good job with, he volunteers for our high school and then is the head coach for our middle school. And then our number 1 volunteer is Joe Gomez, Isaiah's dad. And let me tell you, man, he is a godsend. Him and his family, they help us out every chance they get. They help with the little guys, junior high, high school. I mean, they're about as good a wrestling parents as you can find. They're
all over the place. I've seen them at major tournaments throughout the nation.
Oh, if it's a big tournament, you can count on them being there, yeah.
What are your expectations for the team this year?
You know, I tend to not put too many as far as results-wise, just because I think you set yourself up for some disappointment if you start putting labels on kids where you're telling them you want them to be at the state tournament. You know, just to get through as many as we can through regionals, and once you get to the state tournament, all bets are off. You know, seeds don't matter. Just get out there and see who the best guy is that day.
Okay. Well, good luck rest of the season. I know you told me you're pretty well done today here. So hope the guys do really well at the regional tournament, and hopefully Gimenez can get his third title.
That's what we're shooting for. Lots of people shooting for him, but that's what we look for. Challenge every weekend.